Okay, just arriving, settling. Oh, cool. Thanks for sharing that, Jennifer. How cool. I love the Spotify reports at the end of the year. Are they happening now? Because I have an open mind. Hi, April. They are happening. I saw like a little bit of something because me and Justine have, okay, wrapped up. All right. Because me and Justine listen all the time. They were like, you were in the top 7%. Maybe they say that to everybody. You're in the 4%? Wait, I can't see you well. Let me see. You can unmute. It's okay. Top 4%.
Yeah, top 4%. I was in the top 4%.
And it's because you walk a lot, you said, and listen to podcasts?
I jog and listen. Well, when I just I jog and listen to podcasts, and I totally listen to Jennifer's all the time.
Cool. And then they end up putting you like in the top fan club or something. They're like, you're a top fan. And then you can get a personal message. I don't know if they do this for podcasts, but for artists,
Yes.
it's fun.
Yeah.
I'm curious because okay, minutes listened. Wait, here we go.
But yeah, I
We count, you listened, we counted. Okay. It's a little scary, right? But it's fun.
yeah.
Okay, why? It didn't say the thing yet. All right, go ahead. Come on down. 29,254 minutes. That's 20 days. Nice. Okay. All right, so that's fun. 268 genres. How's that even possible? There are not that many genres. That doesn't feel accurate. Afro swing is our top genre, followed by devotional. Third, Ted, rock and roll. Fourth is children's music, and fifth is reggae. You know, I didn't even know Afro swing is a thing. I thought Afro pop is a thing. Okay. Your listening age is 22, so now I'm feeling cool. Okay, that's fun. 1,390 songs. What's our number one song of the year, Justine? That's because of me. Okay, White Sun took four of them in April. This is a Kundalini yoga kind of music. But the number one was I guess, an Afro swing song. That's the one I envisioned. I told Justine when I first heard that song, I was like, she was about preparing for her recital for dance. And I was like,
Oh.
this song came on, this African song. And I'm like, I had this vision. It took over my whole body. I'm like, I am going to perform that song with whoever their mothers want to in the next dance recital. I'm going to ask. It never materialized, but that was our top one. Oh, that is so fun. Okay. Thank you for bringing that up because um, sweet. You see, when you're hypnotizing yourself, then you see, okay, oh, top albums. It's so close. White Sun is competing with this Afro thing. That's nice. Okay. Well, I'm so happy to be here. Ted, good to see you, Ted. We're becoming the powerful duo.
Yeah, it's been something. The last 4 or 5 months, we've managed to do a couple of months, it seems.
It's so fun. I really love it. I really look forward to it. I look forward to the moment like you string your guitar and I go like so peacefully into myself. Seriously, it's like a whole it's like a kind of like a shower of your spirit.
Oh, thank you.
Seriously. All right. Well, we're gonna do our thing here. Um, Jennifer is at the forgiveness workshop. You know, she's been kind of working hard too at the same time, and this time ends up being a time in the day that you can hit the most time zones. So people in Australia can wake up and come, and it's not too late for the Europeans, and it could span our country. So here we are, the 3 o'clock hour. And so we'll begin with a prayer, and then we'll get into some music with Ted, and I'll share a message, and we are going to be lifted up. That's what I know. So I'm grateful to place my hands on my heart and just take a few moments to consciously breathe. Just creating that space and openness to receive first just that loving vibration of spirit, the peaceful stillness. What a blessing. So grateful to be here today. Grateful that we chose to be here. Grateful to put our spiritual nourishment first. Grateful to honor Jennifer as our fearless leader. And in this case, fearless leader really applies because that's what we focus on. We're grateful to her. We're grateful to everyone joining together to get today in the name of love, in the name of forgiveness, and in the remembrance of our truth, and the truth that sets us free, free to love, free to be happy. So I'm so grateful to be here, and I trust Spirit will work through me and reach each of you listening or here now or listening later in the perfect way. So grateful to have Ted here today. Grateful for Ted's loving heart that comes through his music. It's a vibration. It's, again, its own return home. So we are grateful to let Spirit work through us. And we are so grateful for everyone here who's here to listen, to receive, to have your own healing. And we trust that together we collectively are healing the one mind back to its original source of purity, of innocence, and wholeness. So in gratitude, we allow this service to unfold. And in gratitude, we're letting it be. And so it is. Amen. Great. So thank you all for coming today. If you have a moment to consider your intention for being here, like you could, I say this frequently, I should say. You could be doing so many things, like literally, I have a sink full of dishes, I have whatever. I could be getting all into the nitty-gritty. I just remember Jennifer saying something like, Jesus never talked about doing the dishes. Now we have to do them, but it's like, you know what I mean? Like when you can put them aside for a moment and trust there will be another moment. And so, yes, what is your intention for being here? If you'd like to place it in the chat and then let us know where you're joining from so we can get a sense of our audience today. And I'll take a moment to do that myself. All right. So great. Thank you. Thank you. You can just put that in when you're ready, but it's so powerful to set an intention. It ends up being one of those things we hear all the time, but if you actually do it, it's actually powerful. It's actually worth doing. And even if it's a bit cliche, it's true. It's powerful. So we'll start by I'll actually introduce myself. My name's Angela Potts-Mang'andah. Great. And I live in Wakefield, Rhode Island. I grew up in upstate New York in the Hudson Valley of New York. And my last name comes from Malawi, which is in Southeast Africa, where I did the Peace Corps in 2007. And I met my now husband in 2008. No, in 2009, a few months before my service was complete. So that ended up being Um, Not quite the souvenir I took home right away, but eventually. That was my biggest, most permanent souvenir. Uh, so I am working now with Jennifer in different capacities for the ministry, but I am one of the spiritual counselors and I'm on staff. And I've had so much fun working with Jennifer for the past 11 years in different ways. And, you know, she's a fun woman to get to know. I got a message from her, some great deal at Costco today for heated seats. Like it's just fun to know her because she's so many things. She's doing, yeah, I got special event, limited time pictures from Costco about heated seats, cushions. Um, I was talking about being on a horse ride with Justine. We had a holiday kind of, they call it ladies' night in our town. We rode on when those like big Clydesdales pulling those wagons. And then the woman, like the driver of the wagon, had a heated seat. She's like, I am so happy. She had like a really warm, it was freezing that day. But she had a very warm, like Carhartt suit on, but she's also like, I am sitting on a heated chair that is massaging me. I am so happy. And I don't know how that came up with Jennifer, but now she's showing me where I can get my own. So, so I will be your host and I will deliver the message, but I will bring up, and you might see Justine. She could come in the frame. There she is. She's a byproduct of my most permanent souvenir from Malawi. She's like, what? You're the child of your father. Okay. And Justine just turned lucky number 7. So that's us. And so I'm going to bring on Ted to kick us off. And Ted gets to say whatever he wants to about himself. Okay? You're in charge.
All right. Um, well, like the rest of us, I'm a student of the course. Um, and I've been through some other teachers, and I finally got to meet up with Jennifer and just before COVID. And I got to, well, actually, like 2020, maybe 2019. And finally became a student because she lives it. And you know what? That's what it's all about. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to, have discussions. I want to live it. And it's a tough adjustment. And she's an excellent, excellent role model. And so I have the men's group, which is every Wednesday night. Ladies, if you have a man in your life that wants to venture into the journey of truth and understanding, what our true purpose is, and understanding the course. And then once a month, the first Monday, I'm in the grief group with Dina and Megs. And you're always welcome to that. We are exploring topics about the quantum physics knowledge and how it relates to what we learn with the Course in Miracles. It's been real interesting with Tom there. Okay, so that's all I want to say. I'm married, got 6 kids with my wife and I, and we got like 18 grandkids. So it's a crazy time of year. And I'm going to, because it is December, and I'm only scheduled for this week in this month. So if I get scheduled to fill in for somebody, that'll be different. So I want to do my Christmas songs. So I live on the Great Lakes. I know we got a Chicago person there, and the rest is, and I have relatives in St. Louis. I know we got a St. Louis person here, and but this is the song I wrote for Michael Bublé, but he hasn't heard it yet. If you know him, Tell them to give me a call. Well, the snowbirds have all gone south for the winter. Clippers blow down from up north. The Great Lakes steam, some are ready to freeze. The ice shanties way down the shores. Snow's coming down as we gather around, as new Christmas memories are made. Chatter and laughs as we lift a glass. A smile is on every face. But oh, how I wish you were here to raise a glass and cheer. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. There are mistletoe, a tree aglow, trimming in bright colored gifts. But our thoughts are with those who won't make it home. The blue candles have been lit. And there's a warm aroma from the table. Those sleds and skis can wait. We bow our heads, a prayer of thank is said for all the blessings we share. But oh, how I wish you were here to raise a glass and cheer. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas from the Great Lakes. Christmas on the Great Lakes. Christmas on the Great Lakes. But oh, how I wish you were here to raise a glass and cheer. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Christmas on the Great Lakes. Christmas on the Great Lakes. Christmas on the Great Lakes. I hope that came through okay.
That sounded great. That was so fun.
That
When
is
did
a
you
fun
write
song.
that, Ted?
Man, I probably wrote it 20 years ago.
Cool.
I just, but I don't pursue it, even though I'm part of a writers group out of Nashville. I know a lot of professional people, famous professional people. I just don't like the music business, so I just write my songs and I share them here.
Thank you. Cool. Would you ever consider doing like live events near you or something?
Oh, I do. I do a lot of fundraising.
Oh,
A lot
great.
of fundraising, yeah. Fundraising concerts. I do memorial services. I have a bereavement ministry that, so I'll do things for the hospital,
Mm.
funerals, or memorials. Sometimes people just want a remembrance, and so I do things with hospice in that nature. Um,
You're,
that's kind of my
you're
call, I
neat.
guess. In this.
Thank you, Ted. That was fun. And actually, it's bringing together what I'm going to talk about today in a way, because uh, what came to me was uh, to share about an experience I had with Mary, my mother, and the gift that I'm the gift that I decided to give her, even though I did buy her something, but this gift that um, now it's kind of clarifying in my mind that I'm going to write to her that there is a gift that I want to give her, and it is not a material thing, and it reminds me of Jennifer sharing in Masterful Living one time that one of the participants shared that, and I think I have it right, but it's something to this effect that what they told their spouse is they are going to give their spouse, whether it was a birthday gift or a Christmas, the gift of non-judgment. Like, I'm going to give you the gift of non-judgment, like to not judge you anymore. And that we all know is not necessarily something you just do and it's a done deal. Like, I'm done judging you. And I'm done. It's like, well, but there must be um, a conscious decision that, okay, that's the goal. The goal is I'm done with that. And I know that it is a gift that I give to you and myself when I commit to something like that. So I wanted to share that so I went home for Thanksgiving and um which is at my mom's, and since my dad passed away in June of this year. So this is like our first Thanksgiving with in his absence. So this is just, firsts. And my mom has taken, like, her response so far has been, her own, first of all. It's her own unique journey, her own way of moving forward. And I guess you could say, there's just different ways to say it, but she has felt that she's doing very well overall. There were moments when Thanksgiving was unfolding that she got emotional and she was saying, I'm sorry. And it's like, stop, and it's me. And I'm like, hey, with me, there's no need to apologize when you're emotional, okay? Because I'm just here for it. And for me, it's normal and allowed and acceptable. But so I just will share that. What happened is my mom does most of the Thanksgiving. It's always been her deal. It's her meal, and it's always was my father's favorite meal ever. It's his favorite meal you could put together. So that's particularly sensitive from my mom that, okay, I'm making this meal that always has meant because my parents hit 50 years married like a year ago or 2 years ago. So something like that. They just hit that 50 mark. So she said, yes, I've made this meal for 50 years for your dad. And so there was just acknowledgement like, okay, this is where he normally comes out and does the carving. This is where he normally does this. And I ended up sitting in his seat, not even knowing, but I went out. I'm the last one to the table, and there it is. That's the seat that's left. And okay, I'll do it. Just didn't make a big deal out of it in a way, just sat down. So, my mom she's got the weight of the emotional going on. She's got the actual meal to put together, which we helped, but really she had done so much ahead, but still it's just a lot. And this is a woman who says, like, once the food is ready, she ends up getting to this point where she's like, sit down, it's going to get cold. And she gets really picky about that. Like, she will freak out if she just has a thing in her mind that people should not eat cold food or even warm room temperature food. It should be piping, apparently. So she got to that point, which is just like, we're used to that. It's going to be cold. And I'm typically saying, like, calm down. Yeah. Um, so, you know, I was there. I was staying overnight, so I was with her. I was with her the night, maybe 2 nights before or night before. So I've just been with my mom and kind of been in her energy and just being there to support her. And then thanks. So then we did the meal. The meal was complete. The cleanup was happening. She was still so involved. She did something after that. I don't know. Then it's the end of the night. It's toward the end of the night, and I'm just like, I'm not somebody who usually like sits and watches a lot of TV because I'm much like my mom, where we move around a lot. We're movers and doers. And so, but I had felt, when you get to the end of a day like that and you've had like a lot going on and there's been a lot to do, that it just felt like, okay, let's take a load off, right? This is when people chill at some point at Thanksgiving. Most families, everyone's different, but there's normally an element of like, okay, that's it. And so I'm at that point energetically. My mother decides that at the very end of a long day, that, well, this is the best time to go through her life supply of Christmas lights and test them out and ask me if I want them. And so she's trying to declutter the basement. And I'm like, girlfriend, you've just put on a Thanksgiving dinner. And I got to this point where it was this kind of thing where I'm sure in the course it has something to do with projection, right? Perception, projection. So I'm feeling like, because as soon as she went into this, like bringing a tub of Christmas lights, plugging them all in, checking them all, and I'm like, I had just hit this maximum thing of no more projects, like the projects have stopped. But I'm noticing her and I'm watching her. I'm like, she's not stopping. She's just like, and, and, it's interesting because it was like I was noticing her hesitancy to relax. Okay. Which I don't need to judge. It could be a coping way of like staying busy and whatnot. But I started to get frustrated with her, which is not cool. But kind of like her energy felt so intense, and I was trying to almost protect myself from it, that I was like, um, I just, I just, I think what it is I noticed I do that. I do that. I can be that way. And it's almost like when you watch yourself and someone else and you don't like what you're seeing, okay, keep looking. Um, so you notice a quality in someone that kind of, it's that thing what Jennifer kind of calls like sandpaper. It's like kind of like, and it's very almost like, repulsive feels like a strong word, but it's like, ah. And just noticing, I think I started paying super close attention to like, wow, my mom is so driven. She's so driven. She has a challenge. She's challenged to like relax. And there were times, um, like when the turkey was done and was supposed to come out of the oven, I'm like this, April. I'm like in doing a meditation, like Sat Kriya and the Kundalini yoga thing. And I'm like, I got like a minute left. So she's like, Angela, can you help me? I'm like, can you just wait a second? I'm like, can you give me 1 minute? I'm nearly done. And she has this attitude where she's like, forget it. And she hauls this 20-pound turkey out herself. And I'm like, she's 70 something. She's a mighty mouse. So don't worry about her, but she's mighty mouse. But there was something coming up for me where I was just seeing like, wow, this is um this presentation of like pushing, forcing, um, you know, yeah. And I think for me too, it's like I'm trying to learn how to be more in my feminine. And then I noticed, wow, this is like the environment I grew up in was very driven, masculine, work hard, keep going, push through. And there I was just feeling like, Mom, can you slow down? Can you stop? Can you stop, Mom? Okay, give me 1 second. All right, you know when you can't find the TV remote when you're supposed to find it. And I'm like, what can I do on that one right now? Um, so that's what came up. And so the frustration for me came up. And then I think I don't remember what I said, but I was just saying, Mom, can you stop? And she didn't want to stop. So then I could just feel that I was I was feeling triggered by her way of showing up. And then I don't know when it hit me exactly, but it hit me like, um, wow. So I am not I'm not being compassionate at all right now. And it's that feeling of, again, someone reflecting to you a quality that you don't admire in yourself. And I have been that way in my own family. So again, I just could call a spade, like, oh, I know that. I know what that is. That's just where you're not pausing. And yet, again, I don't know if that was really helpful for my mom on that particular day to just be busy and then go to bed and not slow down and not think and not let other emotions come in. So there's that awareness of that. But because I do have, it's not quite a daily forgiveness practice on paper. It is in my mind. I'm mentally doing the clearing, the best I can. And but when I notice myself frustrated or irked, like in that case where I am judging, I try to just identify the judgment, like, um, I'm frustrated with my mother because she she won't receive, or she won't take good care of herself, or she won't slow down. Okay. But then if you think about this with like really like, so I'm going to get frustrated with her because she can't slow down. Is that going to be helpful? No. But that's what's coming up. So when things come up, I do write them down. I like to get them on paper so I can look at them, because then I can see the insanity of it. Like, well, that's kind of insane to get frustrated with her. How is that helpful? No, okay, but there's something going on where there's a projection going on and I don't like what I'm seeing. Okay, but so I can write that down. And then I do like the Byron Katie reflective work, like, well, is it true that I'm frustrated with her because she won't slow down? Is that true? And then you're to say yes or no. And if in that moment it felt like yes, cool. If it felt like no in the moment, okay. How do you react? Well, I get like mad at her. Like, how do you react when I believe it? Well, because I'm frustrated, I get tensed up and I'm trying to tell her she's doing it wrong. I'm basically saying, you're doing this wrong. You're not supposed to do it like that. Mom, you're 73. You got to let people help you. And she's saying, well, I'm strong enough. And I'm like, okay, well, this isn't getting anywhere. And then who would I be without that thought? And that's the most interesting thing. And that's where I thought, who would I be if if I would stop energizing my judgments? They may come up. Like they'll come up, but am I going to energize them? And I just felt like, you know what? Look at this. This is my mother. My mother's mother died when she was 6 years old of leukemia. My mother was raised by her father, and she had two older siblings, and she was the youngest. And um, my grandfather, her father, was in World War II. So he had just come back from war. Now he's raising a child. I mean, it just wasn't that she was in a soft, feminine, she had no feminine. I mean, she didn't have a mother. She had a sister, but like there was that presence wasn't there. of the soft, you know? So, and it's so interesting. I didn't expect to be emotional about that. I don't think I even expected to have that insight that she didn't have the feminine. So when I see her behaving that way, it's upsetting because it's like, darn, and then she's emotional about my dad, and she's then apologizing for it. So it's like, so it's like I just decided I just want to, if I could give her a gift, it would be to be like unconditionally loving and soft and sweet to her. I'm not going to get it right every time, but that's the gift. It's like, honestly, my mom, yeah, okay, I got her some earrings. Like I got her, she's so cute because she's like, give me one of those little tiny, what are they called? They're like violets, these little plants. Violet, is that just what they're called? With the soft little flowers. I feel like there's two words, but anyway, she's like, just give me these little mini plants. That's what I like. That's all I want. So she's not hard to buy for, but she's always very simple in what she'd like. But I was like, you know what? Yeah, sure, I'll get her these cute little things. But darn, I'm gonna not sort of. I feel like in some way I'd like to proclaim to her that my real genuine interest is to not try to change her at all. And in fact, the thing that I can sense that I perceive is missing in the equation of her life is the thing I'd like to offer her the best that I can. And that just made me think, this, and I remember Jennifer at some point, um, at some point we were talking and I said, well, my mom does it like this, and I don't like to get in the way. And I don't even know if we were talking about something completely different, like her nutrition or something. I think, and I said, well, I just don't even go there. And Jennifer's like, yeah, don't correct your parents. Like, do not correct your mother. I'm like, yeah. But she said it in this way, like, yeah, that's a no-brainer. We don't do that. Like, don't correct your family. I'm like, yeah, I could just, like, in that moment, I'm like, yeah, you're saying that like so convicted, so convinced that she has a zero tolerance policy for that. And I'm like, oh, I still have some percentage policy. I'm not there. I could tell because I'm like, oh, I still go there, not full on as maybe in the past. But that was one thing that I wanted to share with everyone because we are approaching this time. And, Ted kicked us off with Christmas blessings from the Great Lakes. It's like we're heading into this time where, um, the presence of Jesus. This is where sometimes I have to remind Justine what Christmas even is because we don't go to church. We're not really church goers in that sense. Like, this is my church. You guys are at my church right now. We are at church right now for me. And so, reminding her what this is about and like, yeah, the Savior came. And yet we're all here. It's quite loaded and you're trying to um explain it to a 7-year-old. She's a bright girl, right? But I got to try to frame it that it makes sense what that was about in my own words in the moment. But yet just, I said it, the gift, it looks like it's the gift we're giving someone else. Like, oh, I'm going to give you this gift. I'm going to be nice to you. You're welcome, but who's the gift really? Who's receiving that? Or who's benefiting the most? And I love this teaching that my friend Carla, and some of you didn't get to meet Carla. She was in the ministry very, very involved probably until 2019. So for a good 5 years, I was really close to this really devoted spiritual student named Carla, this woman. And she once shared this. know what you would call it. It's not really a metaphor, but it's sort of like a teaching that if you have a hose and you're washing a car and you're directing the hose, like you're pointing it to the car to like wash it, she said something like, well, what gets cleaned first? It's one of these where you're like, it's like the tree fell in the forest. Who, or I don't know, and you're like, okay, what is the answer? But she was saying that the hose is cleaned first. Like the water flows through the hose and then out to something. So that the idea of our pure thoughts, our clean, pure thoughts, when they flow through us and then out to others, we are purified in that process. So if I have a judgment come up and I choose to basically emote a loving thought instead, it's like whatever I'm choosing to emote is the thing that's flowing through me, the vessel. And I'm going to be affected, you could say at the very least, I'm going to be under the influence of that. So when the frustration comes up, we have tools around that. It's just that idea of, yeah, it seems that I'm going to give my mom the gift, but it's it's me spending more time in a loving, compassionate energy, which I will benefit from. So I could then get frustrated with myself, but I will have more of this capacity to call upon the purity of mind and I'm so grateful that you guys are here and I could say this because to have the awareness of, for my mom's case, like her way of behaving is a direct, I mean, I can't speak for her, but it makes sense that she would have less capacity to be compassionate with herself and loving and gentle and kind. It just wasn't the nurture, and she wasn't nurtured in that per se. So that's a foreign thing. And I remember when I was in my 20s, I started doing this type of spiritual work where I would go to these retreats. And my mom wanted to come, but she really felt like, I don't even know how to answer like the preliminary questions about. So it was also just a different generation than she's going to spend all this time in self-reflection. That wasn't even part of her generational, I mean, it just her upbringing. So I'm quite fortunate that somehow, you know, I don't know. It feels that um I've had more of an opportunity to be around people who are talking about this, talking about unconditional love, and that teaching again, like whatever we are seeing coming from the other is like it's either the embodiment of love or the absence of it. And in the absence of it, would we choose frustration, which I did that day, and it backfired. But so quickly, I apologized, whether it was that day or the next day, I apologized. And I said to my mother something because I could see where I hadn't been loving. I could see it. It was clear to me. And then when I apologized and said, I apologized and my intention is to be extremely loving with you. And she said, you always are. And I'm like, okay, well, because she's more forgiving too of like she's not used to it being really loving. So she's like, you're really nice. I'm like, no, okay. Well, I'm gonna work on myself. So I guess that's the message I was gonna share. I was uh not sure where that was going, but I'm grateful for where it went. And let's take a moment to turn within. Just taking some nice deep breaths in and out the nose. Nice slow breathing. is so grateful for this opportunity to come together. So grateful that we are interested in remembering the truth. So grateful for this reminder that the gifts that we give others are first given to ourselves. In giving, we receive, and they're one. So grateful to consider anyone in our lives that we often snap at, or we judge, or we get triggered by. And grateful that this time of year we can be closer in some way, closer to the purity, the innocence, and the unconditional love of the Christ. And so grateful to be awake and aware that this journey is offering us the opportunity to be that perfect giver and receiver of love to ourselves and to everyone we interact with. And we are grateful. I'm grateful that in a decision to be more loving with my mother, I was given even more profound insight, even just now. So our decision, our willingness to be loving will show us something. It will reveal the key, and it will help us to see the innocence of the others. So we are grateful that at this time, this is a powerful time for us to transform and transmute any and all grievances and judgments. It is the day-to-day practice. It's the moment-by-moment practice. And perhaps this time of year, we have some extra oomph, some extra potential for miracles. And so staying open to spirit, communicating with us, where can we open our heart any further? Where are we blocking love in any way? And just being open to how profound it can be for others to receive love when they expect something else. They expect people to judge them. They expect people to react. So we are grateful to move forward each and every day, and in this holiday season to be shown any way that we can more closely align with ourselves as Christ consciousness. So grateful. Ted, I'll pass it to you whenever you feel ready. And thank you.
Thank you, Angela. That was touching. And this next song is exactly the experience that all of us may have gone through. We don't necessarily have to lose our spouse. We don't necessarily have to lose, but if we've ever been away and during the holidays and alone, and I definitely, the first holiday after my wife Jan passed away, I moved to her town where her folks were from, so I was away from my family for the first holiday, which was tough. And I wrote this song, and I still put. It's called The Blue Candle Christmas, and I have 2 lighted candles with the electric light bulbs in them that are blue. and I put them in the window right by the chair, the chair I sit in, and it keeps me focused. I'm gonna do it for you. This'll be blue candle Christmas. In my window there will be two. One to remind me of the Lord's birthday, and for those alone this Christmas, one's for you. I wish for all an old-fashioned Christmas, open heart, the eyes of a child, to see the babe in the manger, and to feel the peace of his love deep inside. Let me sing for you, dear Lord, happy birthday. Thank you for all of the gifts you've given to me. I light this candle of blue, a symbol of my love, to stand out among all the red and green. The second candle shines for all of you alone, a beacon of peace in the night to warm the soul. Feel the peace channeled by its light, and warm your heart, for in spirit I'm with you tonight, to sing to you Merry Christmas. The Lord has a special love for you. Open your heart to this comfort, and share it by lighting your own two candles of blue. Then we'll be as one in this blue candle Christmas. In our windows there will be two. One's to remind us of the Lord's birthday, and for those alone is Christmas, one's for you.
Beautiful. Wow.
There you go.
That's so lovely.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ted. It's funny, my dad, I don't know why, but my dad, he liked blue Christmas lights. He always used blue. So my mom kind of did roll eye on the blue. She's like, whatever. I don't know why he likes these, but he did these groovy blue lights, which were one of the light sets that I have here. So because we went through all the lights. So that's cool. Okay, so if you're still hanging out with us, well, this is our breakout time. So we'll have small groups and you just get to share anything you'd like. Maybe you have um, a similar experience with someone you're feeling inspired to share a gift, or just anything that touched your heart, or just coming together to listen and process. We do a 12-minute breakout. There's usually around 3 people in the breakout. So we ask that you share the time and anything that's touching your heart, any um, insights you're having, anything you'd like to share. So we'll go into that breakout, and you can always just listen and pass on the sharing. It's just a time, it's kind of like the time at church after church, if you go in the basement and have some coffee and like a snack, it's your time to congregate. So if you'd like to, please stay on and we will go ahead and put everyone in a breakout and then we'll come back for the last part of our time together. Okay, so you can join the breakout. You'll see the invitation. You'll be swept away. Okay. We'll see how these go. Okay. All right. So, thank you, April. It's me and you, Ted, and April's got to be doing some stuff. April, you can jump in anytime later if you choose to, but we know you're the operator here. So, yeah, so thank you, Ted. Thank you for the Christmas vibes.
Well, you're welcome. It became important to me as a growing point. It wasn't until I was, alone at a Christmas, um, and I realized, there's a lot of people. It doesn't have to be because, they could be in the military and away from home. They could be, on a job assignment away from home. They don't necessarily have to, you know, have an empty house because, everybody's, it's an empty nest. Like at our age, your mom's age and that, everybody's lives in different, they can be living in different towns, you don't get to see them. It was that way with my mom. She had nine kids, and it was almost one of those things that, if you didn't get over to the house on Sunday, you better at least call, a phone call, and stay in touch. And I was pretty good about it, but now that I look back, I could have been better, you know. And but yeah, after my dad passed away, and my mom lived with me for a while until she was starting to have, well, my wife was dying, and then I'm trying to take care of her and my mother. Um, and then she's got diabetes. My mom did, and I had to throw my hands up. I had to surrender, and one of my brothers took her. Um, and which after that she only lived a few years, but yeah, it's interesting thing the way that you brought up the idea of an awareness of, if I wasn't judging this, how would I see it, how would I feel, how would it be, um, and that really struck a chord with me because the ego is always butting in, and it's got its own prejudice, it's got its own preferences, it's got its own way of judging from my life experience to give me the thoughts I have. um so I give you kudos for making you know making it a point in yourself to say, you what would I be, how would I think, what would I what would be my gift if wasn't given judgment. I really think that's 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 big. And when you use what Carla had mentioned about the hose, that's exactly what is how we're supposed to see it. That's a great example
Mm,
of, if it comes through us, we feel we're forgiving someone else. We feel that we're comforting someone else. We feel we're doing a deed for someone else. But if it's coming through us, we get the benefit is for us first.
mhm,
It's through us that it takes place. And that is how God's will does move through us, and the Course even tells us it's not by myself I do this. I mean, Jesus says it in the Bible, and it's also said in the Course that it's the
mm,
way God, the Spirit of love, comes through us. Because by ourselves we can't do it, because we created the ego,
mm,
and unless we can find the methods to remove the boundaries and blocks, the veils that the ego gives us, which is one of the wonderful things about this ministry with Jennifer, because it is living the Course in Miracles, which is why I'm here. Why I'm
mm,
here. I mean, I, I was going to be a deacon myself in a Catholic church. My son was going to be a priest. My oldest brother was a deacon. I have an uncle that is a priest. Um, so it's not religion. It's truly living it
mm.
without the guilt, without the guilt. That's why Catholic Church just, I grew up with it my whole life. I mean, my whole family. And, it, but I had to just say, okay, kind of an example. What if I allowed myself to not just do the rituals, to actually experience the way I perceive God, the way that I perceive myself as not just being a person separated here on earth, and Jesus and Mary and everybody's up in heaven, and they just make guest appearances now and then, which is the way most religions put it. In the fact that no, no, this is heaven. We just don't know it. We just we're just not living it. Um, so yeah, that that opened the curtains for me, brought in a little more light, and I appreciate that. So thank you.
You're welcome. Great. I'm thankful that I'm open to these ideas because truthfully, the more and more I do this, the less and less I plan. And I have like a very little kernel of a thing I'm going to talk about. And then the other things come. It's very cool. Only because it's just such a relief. It's like, oh, good. And I
Mhm.
get a stronger muscle of trust. So that's a great one. Um, yeah. Thank you, Ted. April, would you like to share? No pressure. It's okay. Usually I ask in the chat and not put you on the spot, but I did it this way. Sorry.
Thanks. Um, I actually really like the idea of giving someone a gift of how you're going to be with them going forward. Um, I think I'm going to do that, and I've been like playing with it for a little while with my ex-husband. Um, I won't tell him that I'm giving him the gift because he will not understand, but it's something that I think would be very beneficial for me, for him, and for our daughters. So, um, just remembering to go to non-judgment. And when the thoughts of attack come into my mind, because they will, because I have been practicing that for 20 years now, um, just to remember to allow my awareness to let them go, because I don't want to continue the combativeness and the uncomfortable situation, and whatever I can do to stop that would be helpful for all of us. So thank you for that idea, because I think that will be my big 2025 Christmas gift to myself and the rest of my family, is to be gentle and non-judgmental towards him.
Bravo. Because we both know that it's just in the willingness to consider that idea. It's the willingness to like the approach in it. Like, okay. Because uh I can't remember how Byron Katie says something like this about something like the war stops with me or something where
Right.
there
Yeah.
can't be a war if there's one. Now, then we,
Yeah. There's got to be two sides to the war, and I'm not willing to war anymore.
yeah, this is like then the war
Yeah.
ends. And it is, there's like magical, I guess, yeah, because I ride the waves. I ride the waves of having, like, I almost feel like as a given period goes on, especially in my marriage, looking at a sort of the same thing, I keep changing and looking at it another way. And then I keep looking at it that way. Sometimes I really am in the frustration, and sometimes I'm really in the curiosity. Sometimes I'm really in, and I'm not sure what that's about. I feel like it might be something to do with just the nature of how a human being on the planet, as the planets move and I move and things keep shifting and we keep seeing it. But if there's at the core a desire to see the innocent, the good, like to see where are the connector points, are, where's a place I can be compassionate, or where's a place I can hold a firm boundary, and that's the loving thing. Because it's just like it's not one thing. To me, it doesn't feel that way. It feels like, geez, well, I was that way yesterday, I felt that way, but today I feel this. And yesterday I told my friend this and it helped her. And now I feel like she did, So I just think it's an interesting game, like
Yeah.
that is played where, and they say the women and the women have the 11 moon centers, and that somehow it's almost like life is being filtered through a different aspect of our being, like every couple days. So then it keeps shifting, but it
Mhm.
feels to me like, because I was looking at the responsibility for sight section, because I know Jennifer just revisited that in the mother-daughter sister program. And it just had something to do with like, if you set the goal, then things will, I think, with when the goal is set, then it's like a game changer. So that's what I was feeling like with my mom. Because when I felt it, I was like, oh, wow, if I put myself and give myself that task to be loving with her, I will see those opportunities. They're going to come up. And then I'm going to have the choice point. And then I'm going to play, and then I'm going to see if I get really stuck, I'll have to use more tools to get unstuck. But I have a desire not to hold this opinion of her that she is this thing.
Yeah.
She does this wrong. She doesn't do this well. She doesn't know how to do that. So instead of holding that my goal is to be right about that fixed position, it's like, okay, no, that's not the goal anymore. I'm deciding. The goal is to be compassionate, soft. Like I have to pick whatever word. And yeah, so that's what I'm getting. So thank you. Thanks, April. Okay, welcome back, everyone. Thank you for staying on. Thank you for being in the breakout. And if anyone would like to share, we're a small, sweet group. If anyone would like to share anything that was helpful in the breakout, or a declaration you'd like to make, you could unmute yourself. You could put it in the chat. No pressure, but you may have had something powerful that you shared in the breakout, and we'd love to hear about it. So feel free. Feel free to unmute or put it in the chat.
I
I'm
don't think they
changing
can
it.
unmute themselves, but they can tell me and I
Oh,
can
raise your hand.
unmute them. Yeah,
Hand.
raise your hand.
Okay, thank you. I was like, yeah, we're changing the rules. You can unmute yourself, but actually you can't. But if you want to raise your hand and share anything, I think I'm not really a rule breaker by nature, but I'm like, who likes rules? I don't like restrictions. Just lift the bans. May the bans be lifted. Um, okay, so while maybe people are writing in the chat or thinking about it or just letting this, well, we can move forward to our announcements time. And this is just our opportunity to let you know what's going on in the ministry. And Jennifer just kicked off her mother-daughter sister program last Thursday. So they've met one time. So it's a 4-part series that you get the replays for. But this is a powerful, powerful program for anyone who relates to having issues as a daughter, as a mother, as a sister, with a mother, with a daughter. I just talked about a mother one, relating with my mother. And it's not too late to join. You would potentially be able to be live for the next 3. There's one more class offered in December, which is this coming Thursday. And then there'll be, it might be 3 more, but there's one that's being offered in January. So they're being spread across the next few weeks. So that link is in the chat. And we've also got Masterful Living registrations open. That's our year-long program. Ted, April, and myself have all taken Masterful Living. I'm not sure if we have any other participants. I do see we have Alice here, and there may be others, so forgive me if you're here, but our year-long program, which is for many of us was is a like delightful memory of going really deeply into our whole life and purifying every area of our life, whatever we were ready for, that's what we did. And great opportunity to deepen and grow your own community. We have prayer partnerships that go on throughout the year, so you get to know people one-on-one. There are small group opportunities. There's the large class opportunities with Jennifer. There's one-on-ones with Jennifer. It's just very, very extensive. So that's started. So Masterful Living 2026, which is so exciting. And then we have also Jennifer is doing her monthly deep dives. So the deep dive this month is related to the end of the 9-year cycle and the start of a new year. So it's End the Pattern and Bless the Lesson. That's this month's deep dive, which is on December 13th. I think that's next Saturday. So those are our upcoming programs. Also, we put in the chat always a link to support our Sundays with Spirit service because it does take some admin to put this on. Otherwise, we have lots of volunteering happening. But if you'd like to support this and see that it continues, there's a link to support the ministry. So thank you so much for being here and listening. And then I'll pass it to Ted. He can share anything he'd like, and he'll sing another beautiful song. Thank you.
Thank you, Angela. Nicely done. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I decided this last song is going to be, I should tell you announcements, but I already told you about the men's group on Wednesdays. We meet once a month. You don't have to come every month, but it's a gathering to just be around other men that are trying to live it right. And then once a month, the bereavement group on the first Monday. You can get in, go to the website. Generally, you just register. They'll send you notices on when they are in the Zoom links. And that's it. And I chose this last song because here we are in the holidays. But there's a lot going on in the world. And there might be a lot going on in our families' lives, that we don't always see eye to eye with everyone or our neighbors. And Angela did a great job on helping bring to light about it. You know what? Maybe if I didn't have this judgment, I would have a different approach on how I would see things. And that's why I wrote this song. It's called Stand. Oh, heaven help me. You know who I am. You're my maker. But I'm lost in this land. Heaven help me. In your divine plan, wouldn't it be helpful if I knew where to stand? For you are all wisdom, knowledge, your Son, grace through the Spirit. Thy will is done, follow I will. But I am blind, please give sight to this simple man. Oh, heaven help me. For you know who I am, you're my maker. I'm lost in this land, heaven help me. In your divine plan, wouldn't it be helpful if I knew where to stand? Heir to the kingdom, a child to the eternal life, granted to me, formed in your image, in this sinful land, prize of the Savior, the product of man. Oh, heaven help me. For you know who I am, you're my maker. I'm lost in this land, heaven help me. In your divine plan, wouldn't it be helpful if I knew where to stand? Ooh, ooh. There you have it.
Beautiful. Okay. Thank you, Ted. Thank you so much for being here. So what I will do is I will say a prayer and close us out. And I want to thank you, April, for being here. Thanks for supporting the service. Lets me like relax. And we were joking, kind of. Like I was just like, let me just pick up my baby and sway her side to side. She's like almost 70 pounds or something. I don't know, 65. And it's like, okay. She thinks it's really fun. I was basically probably causing a hernia. No, it's not healthy for me, but once in a while. But we But what a treat. What a treat. I'm going to say a prayer and then I'll hang around. If anybody has a question about masterful living, I'll hang around. We can turn off the recording and I can answer any questions anybody has. So, we are so grateful to bless our time together, placing my hand on my heart. So grateful to have this remembrance of choosing love. It again is something that sounds cliche, but it is the most profound, powerful, impactful decision we can make, moment by moment, loving ourselves, loving others, recognizing that the extension of love to another is a gift of love to ourselves, because then we are embodying, holding, experiencing love first, and then sharing it, extending it out. We are just grateful for the way Spirit would have us come together and hear the truth. And we are grateful for our willingness to hear, to listen, to be here, to put this as a priority, because we are wishing and longing to be living in that vibration of love, our real nature, like as we were born into this world, pure and innocent, light filled. So we are grateful to cultivate our light within ourselves at this time of winter in this part of the world, where light is coming through. It's just first, it's shining within ourselves and outward. So we are grateful to go forward and be lifted and loving and kind, even just smiling more. Like yesterday, I went into the store and I just wanted to look for everyone who's smiling. I could find some people, but let us be the ones smiling if it feels authentic. But let us be the bearers of light. We are grateful for this assignment. And we, again, thank you, Ted. Thank you, April. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you all who are here. We are grateful. We are blessed. We go forth to be a blessing. In gratitude, we let it be. And so it is. Amen. Thank you, everyone. Have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your day. I don't know, April, maybe you make me the host. Is that what I do? You did that. Okay. Did you do that?